BBB final round review. We'll start with set A because BBB is divided into three sets, right? Set A, B, and C. Okay, so again, stay muted, listen attentively, and avoid spamming the chats because I know you guys would. Okay, let's start with set A. So we have first the question is Centennial Blessing. Can you try to again mute yourselves unless you're recognized to do so? Centennial Blessing. Can you read number 1?
Complete the following sequence. 64, 66, 70, 76, blank.
Okay. So,
4,
thank you, Centennial. So if you can see, there is a sequence and it's increasing, right? Because it starts from 64, then it became 66 and 70. So definitely there is a pattern and it is indeed increasing. So one way for us to figure out the pattern is we try to subtract it, right? We try to subtract the consecutive numbers. So 64, 66, the difference is 2, right? 70 and 66, that's 4, right? And 76 and 70, that is 6. Can you guys see a pattern? Yes, the pattern is quite increasing by 2, 4, 6. The number in the blank is here. So by the pattern, we can assume that this one is increasing by 10. But not by 10, but by 8, right? So 76 plus 8, that's equal to 84, right? The last number is 76 plus 8, that is 84. And if we check 84 plus 10, that is indeed 94. Thus, the number in the blank must be 84. Got it? Clear? No further questions? Okay, if there is none, let's proceed with the next question. And the next question is, find the, okay, I'll just read this one. Find the value of 81 plus 52 plus 73 plus 34 plus 15 plus 66 plus 47 plus 28. There's like a lot of ways to solve this one, but one familiar method is what? The regrouping, right? Or we pair these things differently. So if it ends with 1, we pair it with something that ends with 9. But we can see something that goes along with it. So we'll try. So let's try 28 and 52. How about that? 52 plus 28. And then what else? We could have 73 and 47, right? So 73 plus 47. So if it ends with 2, we pair it with something that ends with 8. If it ends with 3, we pair it with something that ends with 7. And if it ends with 4, we pair it with something that ends with 6. So now we have 34 plus 66. We don't have any other pair to pair with 15 and 81, so let's just pair it 1. Okay, as 1. So 81 plus 15. So now if we try 52 plus 28 is what? It's 80, right? And then 73 plus 47 is what?
120.
Yes, it is 120. And then 34 plus 66 is
100. 100.
And 81 plus 15 is
96.
96. You know already,
96.
this one would be 200 and this one's 100. So that's 300 plus 96, which would give us
396.
Yes, there you go. It must be 396. Thus, the answer for number 2 is 396. All clear? Okay. You have a concern, Zachary?
Teacher, may I go early out so I have WMI in school class?
Yeah, sure. No worries. This meeting is recorded naman, so it can be sent lang to you for you to review on your own. Okay, now let's have number 3. Find the value of 124 plus 95 minus 54 plus 253 minus 65 minus 203. Now, there's a lot of ways for us to solve this one, but one way that I love is actually just to do canceling effect. Okay, again, your mics.
Yeah, boy.
And also be respectful as well, okay? Don't use those language. Let's be formal. Okay, now let's have, okay. So it's easier for us to subtract 253 and 203, right? Because they both ends with 3, right? And if we do that, that's just 50, right? And if we do 95 minus 65, that is what? That is 30, right?
30 po.
And 124 and minus 54 is what? It is 7.
70.
Right. So 70 plus 30 plus 50, that's easily equal to
150.
150. So all clear? All clear? Why is it 150? So one way for me to do this one is for me to look at things and look for things that I can cancel it with or just repair it. Okay? So there's like a lot of ways to solve that, but that's one way. Okay, let's move on with number 4. Now, okay, I'd like Alan to read this one.
Okay. Now there is a rectangle. The width is 8. The length is 3 times as the width. Find the perimeter of this rectangle.
Okay, thank you. So the width is 8. Okay, that's funny. Wait lang. Let me just change the color. Okay, the width is 8, right? The width is 8. Now it says that the length is 3 times as the width. So that is just like 8 times 3, right? Which is basically 24, right? And for us to get the perimeter of a rectangle, that's just basically adding all four.
The answer is 64.
Yeah, okay. We're trying to solve still. So 2 length plus 2 width. That's one way for us to put it that way, right? Perimeter is equal to 2 length plus 2 width, meaning to say there will be 2 length width, right? Now, again, mute your mics, please. Mute your mics, please. Okay. So now that we're like all muted, so now 2 length. Our length is 8 at 24. Our length is 24, right? So our length is 24. Our width is 8. Now that's just basically what? That's just basically 48.
46. I think 48.
48 plus 16, which is in fact equal to 64. Okay, so you guys were right. It's 64. Now with questions like this, it's unnecessary for you to place the unit. So you don't have to say 64, let's just say centimeters or 64 meters. You don't have to do that. Just place the numbers, okay? Got it? Clear? Okay. So now let's go with number 5. Okay, here. So refer to the figure below. Why did I read that one? Okay, can I have Nicolo Afilada?
Refer to the figure below. All line segments are vertical or horizontal lines. Find the perimeter of this figure.
Okay, so you guys were right. I read the chat when Nicolo was reading. You guys can actually just do 24 plus 8 times 2 earlier. So now let's have number 5. So since we're looking at perimeters again, perimeter is just basically adding all the outside, all the outside sides, right? So now, you know already that this whole thing would be 6, right? This whole thing would be 6. Is it 6 or 9? 9, right? Because if you view it that way, that looks like 6. But that is supposed to go that way. So that's 9, okay? Don't get confused. This whole thing is just the same with this one, so you know it's 9. But you know already that this one is 2, and it just if you look closely, it's just that, right? Looks the same, and it makes sense because 2 plus 2 plus 2 would be 6. However, we still have this one, right? So if you look closely, it will just be like this. There would 2 sides that are way equal, so that would be 9 times 2, right? Because there are 2 sides with length 9, right? So that's 9. Now with this one, we'll have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, which is just basically 2 times 5, right? Because there are 5, like basically sides with length 2, right? So that's 5. Now, if you go on top, so what is left na lang is itong nasa top. We know already this one's 2, right? This one's 2 because that's just the same with the other. However, what's different with this one is that meron siyang sides, they have a side that like this. It's quite longer than the other sides, which is just if you take the comparison, it's just 3, right? So that is just 3 times 2. So now if you look closely, that would just be like 18. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 2 times 5, which is 10. 2 times 3, which is 6, and 3 times 2, which is 6, which is basically 12, right? 18 plus 12 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40. Thus, the answer overall, or the overall perimeter of these figure must be 40. Got it? Clear? No further questions why it's 40? Yes, in fact, it is 40. So you can see it in the chat. You guys were, yes, 40. But why is it somebody answered 34? Okay, it's 40, okay? Okay, number 6. Can I have Jerial? Jerial, can you read number 6?
Number 6. Mr. Red has 10 $1 coin, 10 50-cent coins, and 10 10-cent coins. Now he needs to pay 3.7 $3.70 without any changes. How many methods are there?
Okay. So one way for me to put it this way is for me to start with the bigger ones, and that is basically $1 coin, right? That's the highest value among the given. So we could start by having 3 $1 coin, and then plus what? We could have 1.50, and then we could have what? 2 10 cents, right? Right? Now that would all be equal to what? That's equal to 3.7, right? So that's one way for us to put it that way. So we could also have 3. Is it 3? Yes, still 3. 3 $1 coins still. And then we could have all of the 7 10 cents, right? That's still equal to 3.7, which is 3.70 basically. Okay, now what else? So now we'll try to lesser down the value of this one. So from 3, we'll have 2 naman this time. 2 $1 coin. And then, since there would be 2, we'll try to compensate that. We could have 2.50. We could have 3 first. 3.50. And then we could have what? 2 10 cents, right? That's still equal to 3.7. Or we could have 2 1. And then what else? We could have 2 1, 2.50. And then in return, we could have, to compensate 2.50, we still have 70, right? So that would be 7 10 cents. Now, do we still have any other combinations that uses $2 coin, $2 coins? Do we still have? None, right? We'll move on with 1. So if we have one $1 coin, obviously we'll need to compensate that. So for 50, so therefore 100 cents makes $1, right? 100 cents make $1. So since we need 250 just for us to have 2.5, then that would mean that we'll need what? 550 cents, right? And then again, we'll have 0.20 or basically two $10 coins, right? And the next one, following the same pattern, will have what? We'll have 4.50, and then we'll have all the 7 cents, which is just basically 0.70. And if you look closely, we made how many methods? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all there is, right? So that's 6. All clear? Why it's supposed to be 6? Okay, let me see in the chat. Yeah, it's 8. Why? Do we still have something else? Do we still have something else? Why is it? Again, I said don't spam the chats. Why is it 8? Is it 8? Do we still have something else?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am. Can it be like there's like 0, 1, $1
Very
coin?
good. That's it. We're looking, we still have 0, $1 coins, and then we'll have, first thing is we could have 6.50, right? So that's 3 basically, right? Because again, 100 cents would give us $1. So if we have 6.50, that's like 100, 100, 100, which is basically $3, right? And then we could have 0.70 or 10 cents, right? That's still equal to what? That's still equal to 3.7. And then we could also have 7.50, and then just basically the same thing, 0.20. So the number of ways is these options. So there are in fact 8. So you can, for you to do this one, you'll try to have to be consistent. So you can try to start with the $3, the maximum one that you could get, and then you try to lessen it with 2, and then with 1, and then you try that there's none. Okay? Got it? All clear why it's 8? All clear why it's 8? So in fact, yes, in fact, it's not 6, but it's 8 because we still can do it without any $1, right? We can use and we can monopolize all our 50 cents and 10 cents, right? Okay, all clear with that one?
I think I saw someone say that they didn't get it.
Okay, so so it says here that you're thinking about how many methods you could compensate, or you could pay 3.70, right? So that's why we're trying to use that there are 10 $1 coin, 10 50 cents, and 10 cents, right? So we're thinking of ways for us to pay 3.70 without any change. And one way for us to do that is for us to get $3. So we need still 0.70, right? We still need 70 cents. So we'll try to get 150 cents and 10 cents, right? That could give us 3.70. That's one way. But that's not the only way. That's why we try to think of other things. Now, why did I put it like this? Now, why did I put it in a way that it's like decreasing from $1? It's because, well, for us not to miss some points. So now we're done with all the possible options that in case we use $3, so we'll try to use 2 this time. So since we have only 2, we still need to compensate 1.70. And where can we get 1.70? We can get 3.50 and 10 cents. That's still equal to 3.7, right? So basically, we're just looking for how many ways we could pay 3.7 without any change. Again, having to think in mind that 50 cents can give us 50 cents is just half of a dollar, meaning to say 100 cents makes $1. That's why we need in this case, that's why we need 2 50 cents for us to make 1. So because 3 plus 1 plus 7 plus 0.7 is just 3.7. Clear? Okay. If that's not clear, you can go back to the explanation by the recording and go back with it until you can understand. Okay, now we'll have number 7. Find the value of 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13 up until it reaches 199. And we'll need to subtract that with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and plus until 196. Do you see a pattern? Can you see a pattern? Rafi from Indonesia, Rafi Dominic. Can you see a pattern?
Well, I think I can. Just
Okay, what is the pattern?
so I'll find the value of 1 plus 3 plus until 199. Each number is increasing by 2.
And if you can see, all of these, right, are odd numbers. Very good. And all
of them are the other one are even numbers.
very
There's one problem here. I don't really know how to.
That's fine.
Teacher,
Please recognize the pattern, okay? So okay, thank you. So now
the answer is 3.
can I explain now? I only asked Rafi to determine the pattern. So now that he's done with it, can you guys calm down? Let me explain.
And also, my name is Rafe, not Rafi.
Ah, Rafe. Okay, thank you. So Rafe, yes.
Ma'am, can I share po how I solved it?
Okay, let me just explain this one, okay? Will that be fine? If we have just in case we have the same solution. Okay, so you know already these ones are all odd numbers. And if you can see, it's quite consistent, right? It's all listing down all the odd numbers. And if you can see, from 1 to 200, there's only 2 possible ways. It could be odd, even, odd, even. And if you look closely, all of these are basically all the odd numbers from 1 to 200. Right? Would you agree? Right? It's all the odd numbers from 1 to 200. So since it's basically odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, right? So basically, if it lists down all of the numbers from 1 to 200, like all the odd numbers from 1 to 200, that's basically half of it. It means that we need to add 100 odd numbers, right? From 1 to 99, right? So we can also find out by having to 99 minus 1 divided by 2 plus 1. You could also opt to do that, but we could also try to think about, this is just basically all the odd numbers from 1 to 200. So that's basically half of it, so that's 100. And this one, that's not all the odd numbers. These are all odd numbers from 2 to 200. However, it's missing 198 and 200 itself, right? So you would know from 1 to 200, these are the even numbers, but except what? Except 198 and 200. It wasn't listed down, right? So we can assume that there are what? There are 98 numbers in here, right? Since it's missing 198 and 200 itself, right? So again, these are all 100 numbers and these are 98, but it's not the sum of it, right? We just identified how many numbers could there be in the pattern, right? So now how do we get the sum? So you still remember taking the last number and then adding the first number in the pattern, divided it with 2, and multiply it with how many numbers are there? Again, mute yourselves. Okay.
No.
Mom,
Yes.
may I go to
Yes, sure you can. Okay. So 199 plus 1, so that's highest plus lowest divided by 2 times how many numbers or how many terms would there be? In this case, it should be 100. Vernon, I already asked you nicely for you to mute your mic. If you have like turned on your mic, the rest also would do so. So it would be quite chaotic. So now, thank you. Okay, so now we'll have to subtract that with the same, follow the same step, okay? Take the last one, add the first number in the pattern, which is basically 2. The largest is 196, right? And plus the first term, which is 2, divide it with 2 again, and multiply it with how many what? With how many numbers are there, right? So now, if you can see, that's 199 plus 1, which is 200. 200 divided by 2, that is what? That is 100. 100 times 100, that is what? 10,000.
10,000.
Yes, that's right. 10,000. How about this one? So 196 plus 2, that's 198, right? 198 divided by 2 is 99. So that's 99 times 98. Or you could say 100 times 98 and then you subtract 99 right after. Just like that. So now 99 times 98 is what? 9,702, right? That's 9,702. So now if we try to subtract 10,000 minus 9,702, that is equal to what? That is equal to
498.
Very good. It's 298. Thus, the answer for number 7 is 298. All clear?
Sir, I have another solution po.
Okay. What is it?
Let's start po muna dun sa odd. So,
Okay, one more thing. Since there would be other like from other countries, I do encourage you to speak in English because there would be some other students who would not try to comprehend since the language is different, right? So let's just stick with it, okay? So there will be a lot of ways, but you choose the ones that you are most comfortable with. Okay? This is just one of the lot of ways that you could solve this problem. Got it? Can we settle it like that? Okay. You can share you can share your solution in the chat box for your classmates to read, okay? Okay. Now let's have number 8. Okay, I'll read your solution as well during break time. Okay, here. Can I ask Stephen Lau? Can you read number 8?
Fong's age is 5 times as that of Chung's age. The age sum of Fong's and Chung's is 66 years old. How old is Fong this year?
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Okay, so one way for us to do this is for you to analyze all statements and turn it into a mathematical equation. Now, I like to put mathematical equation is the lazy way of writing things. Why the lazy way? Because in math, we have an option not to write the whole thing, right? For example, instead of writing Fong,
Teacher,
yes,
I have the answer now.
okay, you can say it in the chat box. Okay, so now Fong's age is 5 times as that of Chong's. So let's just say F for Fong and C for Chong's. Is that clear for everybody? Can we agree that F is Fong's, C is Chong's, okay? So now it says Fong's age is 5 times as that of Chong's. So in clearer sense, That is just like equal to what? 5
55.
is equal to 5 times Chong, right? Since we don't know the age of Chong, so we can't assume it's 55 yet, right? So now, on the next sentence, it states that the age of Fong and Chong's is 66. So the sum, diba? The sum, meaning to say, if you try to add the ages of Fong and Chong, we can get 66, right? So since we don't know, since we know already that F is just 5C, we can just substitute, right? So instead of saying F, we say 5C plus
Teacher.
again, let me finish first, okay? That which is equal to 66, right? So now 5C plus C is
Teacher.
equal to 6C. Yes, you have a concern?
I think the unit digits of from 8H is 5 and the unit digit of 2H is 1.
Okay. So, thank you. So 5C plus C is equal to 66, right? So now 5C plus C, that's just equal to 6C, right? So for us to know Chong, we'll just have to divide both sides with 6, right? Which means that Chong is just 11, right? But we're looking for Fong, not Chong. So we'll try to go back knowing that Fong's age is 5 times as Chong. So that is just 11 times 5, which would give us 55, right? So the answer is 55. Clear on that?
I agree.
It's really simple.
Yeah.
Easy squeezies, lemon squeeze.
Yes. Why is your answer
You
3?
wrote on your mic.
Why is most of your answer 3? Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's actually really
Another
simple.
way
Math.
for So I actually read your solution. Yeah, that's another way to put it actually. Okay, now let's have number 9. So an animal will gain 11 grams per month. If this animal weighs 77 grams in May this year, how heavy will it be in March next year? So this one's quite easy, right? Because first is you only have to know how many months are there from May to March, right? So from May to March, we'll just try to count May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That's 10 months apart, right? So since the animal would gain 11 grams per month, so that means it's just 11 times the number of months from May to March, which is 10, which is equal to 110. Now, initially, the animal is already 77. So the 77 plus 110, that is just equal to 187 grams. However, you don't have to put grams, you just have to write down 187. Got it? Clear? Okay. Since it's all clear, let's have this one. So for this one, can I ask Timothy?
Me.
Timothy Acebo? Can you read this one? Yes.
According to the pattern,
Okay, you don't have to read that
triangle, something, in total 100 figures. How many stars are there?
Okay. So according to the pattern, this one, in total of 100 in figures. So we know already since there are dots, it would increase pa, right? It would be increased, and then there should be 100 in figures total, right? How many stars are there? We're talking about stars, but for us to do that, we'll have to identify first what could be the pattern itself, right? We'll have to identify the pattern first. Now, if you look closely, you'll have to identify where does it start, ends, and repeats. So if you can see, it starts with a star, ends with a star, and it basically repeats. Right? Now, if you can see, how many, so the pattern is star, triangle, triangle, star, diamond, diamond, star. That's the pattern, right? That's the pattern. Star, triangle, triangle, star, diamond, diamond, star. Now, the next thing that you'll have to do is, we know already there would be 100 figures, right? So 100 figures divided by how many shapes are there per pattern, right? Per pattern. So now how many shapes are there per pattern? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 100 divided by 7, which is equal to what? Just 14 remainder 2, right? Is it 14 remainder 2?
I think so.
100 divided by 7 is 14 remainder 2, because that would be 98, right? So now, meaning to say, this pattern will repeat 14 times. Do you get it? This pattern will repeat 14 times. Now, the next thing that we'll have to do is identify how many stars are there per pattern. So in each pattern, there would be 3 stars. Since this one would repeat 14 times, then it should look like 3 times 14, which is equal to what? 3 times 14 is equal to
42.
42, right? That's 42. Now that would be it, but since we still have a remainder, that basically means that we'll have to go back to the pattern and look at the first 2 shapes in the pattern. What's the first 2 shapes in the pattern? It's star and a triangle. We still have one more star, right? So we'll try to add, meaning to say there would be 43 stars if there would be 100 figures following these patterns. So again, to wrap it up, since we'll have to know first what's the pattern, where it starts, where it ends, and basically repeats, right? There would be 100 figures, and we know already there are 7 shapes per pattern. So 100 divided by 7, that's 14 remainder 2, meaning to say the pattern will repeat 14 times. Now, since there are 3 stars per pattern, we're looking out stars, that should look like 14 times 3, which is equal to 42. But since there's a remainder, which is 2, we'll have to look at the pattern, go back with it, and look at the first 2 shapes in the pattern. There is 1 star out of the remainder, right? So we'll have to add 1, 43, 2 plus 1, that's 43. Thus, the answer is 43. Clear on that? Clear on that? So the answer is 43. Okay. Okay, so now let's go. So we're done with set A. We're moving on with set B this time. So for set B, can I have Adethea Luan? Can you read number 11?
Now is 11 a.m. After 1,000 minutes, what's the time now? Please use 24-hour system to represent your answer.
Okay. So how many minutes are there in an hour? 60. So for us to know this one, we'll have to identify how many minutes are there in an hour, and that's basically 60. So since it says that there are 1,000 minutes, we'll try to divide that with 60. Now so if you try to think about it, what's 1,000 divided by 60?
16.
Yeah, 16, so it rhymes, right? 1,000 divided by 60 is 16. And the remainder is what?
40.
Yeah, the remainder is 40. Now, since we know already, it would have been 16 hours and 40 minutes. 100 minutes is 16 hours and 40 minutes. So now from 11 a.m., we'll try to count 11 plus 16, which is equal to 27. Now, in a day, there are only how many hours? 4, and then 3 sets back, right? Since we need to use the 24-hour system, so if you subtract 24 here, we'll have 3, right? So since the remainder is 4, that's 40 minutes, 40, which is 40 minutes. So it means that it would have been 3:40 a.m. or just 3:40, right? Since you don't have to put units again. So again, just try to divide the number of minutes by 60, since there are 60 minutes in an hour. The remainder, the answer is 16, remainder 40. Now 11, which is our initial time, which is 11 a.m. 11 a.m. plus 16 is 27. We'll have to use the 24-hour system. So 27 minus 24 is 3. Put back again the remainder, which is 40. So that's 3.40. Or 3, not 3.40, 340. Got it? So the answer is 340. And you'll have to answer it in this way. Okay. Let's have number 12 this time. Number 12. There is an arithmetic sequence. The second term is 18. And the third term is 37. Find the 11th term of the sequence. So now if you can see, it starts already. So there would be, it should look like this, a blank, and the second term would be 18, and the third term would be 37. So without even having the need to look for other numbers, we know already what would then be the pattern, since it has been stated that it would be an arithmetic sequence, meaning to say there would be a constant number that it gets increased with, right? So for us to know that common difference, we'll just have to do 37 minus 18, and that is equal to what? It is equal to 19, meaning to say the pattern would get increased by 19. We're looking out the 11th term, right?
first
Remember the Super Sally makes
is
art?
-1.
You know already, yes, you know already, right, that Super Sally makes art. So for those of you who don't know Super Sally makes art, that's just basically subtract, multiplication, add. So if there's an arithmetic sequence, for you to know like how many terms are there, or the number of terms, or what would be the value of that term, just use Super Sally makes art, or basically subtract, multiply, add. Now what do you have to subtract with? That's the 11th term, right? We're looking for. Usually we subtract it with 1. But note that we started at the second term. So we can just do -2. Right? Which is basically 9. Now, 9, so how do we know the next thing that we need to subtract with? All we have to do actually is take the two numbers in the pattern, subtract it all together. So the next subtraction is basically the common difference. And we know already it's what? It's 19, right? So we'll try to do 19 times 9, which is basically what? What's 19 times 9? That's
171.
1, or 171. Now we'll try to add the first number in the pattern. In this case, since we used the second term, so we'll try to do 171 plus 18, which is equal to 189, which means that the value of the 11th term in this arithmetic sequence should be 189. Clear? Again, Super Sally makes art. Got it? Okay. If it is, then let's move forward with question number 13. Okay, this one is quite easy. It just looks complicated, right? But this one's actually easy, like way too easy to even imagine. So define the operation symbol that just say A operation symbol B, and you have to solve it like this. 2 times A minus B. Since A minus B is placed inside the parentheses, we'll have to solve it first, right? So if you try to take out something just for you to see, we'll start with 9. Let's just say circle, like that one, okay? And then 8. So now, how do we solve that? 2 times A minus B, right? That's just basically 9 minus 8, which is basically 1, right? So that's just 2. Note that if you can see, all of these numbers will just be 1, 1, 1 times 2. right? So 8 minus 7, 1. 7 minus 6, 1. 6 minus 5, 1. 5 minus 4, 1. 4 minus 3, 1. Right? All of that is multiplied by then with 2. Right? So 1, 1, 1, 1. So now that's 6. 6 times 2 is just equal to 12. Meaning to say the answer for number 13 is just 12. Clear on this one? Clear? I hope it is clear. So that's just this one is just an example of a tricky question. Okay, what is your concern and why is it a no? Like what's your like why is it not clear? So care to ask?
What question is it?
Number 13.
Okay.
Somebody said no, right? So now ask. Okay, was that just
Whose iPad?
okay, again, is it clear? Okay, if it's not clear, you may ask, okay? Don't just do it for fun. Okay, let's move on with number 14. Number 14, find the value of 1021 plus 98 plus 997 plus 9,996 plus 10,005. So let's try to solve it differently, okay? So we'll try to do, since we can't really look for a pair, we could actually do this one. 1,000 plus 900 plus 9,900 plus 10,000. Now, teacher, where are the others? We'll just try to group it. So now, that would be 21 plus 98 plus 97 plus 96 plus 5, right? Now, if you can see, we have something you can group now. So 1,000 plus 900, that's 1,900, right? 1,900 plus 9,900, that's basically 11,800, right? 11,800, is it 11,000? No, you guys were not budging. What's 1,900 plus 9,900? It's actually just right. It's 11,800. We're just messing up with you guys. Okay, so 11,800 plus 10,000 is obviously 21,800, right? So that's 21,800. But we still have one more thing. We still have this one. So we could have 96 plus 5, which is 101, right? Right? 101. 101 plus 98 is 199. 199 plus 97 plus 21 is equal to what? What is that equal to? What's 21 plus 98 plus 97 plus 96 plus 5? That it?
317.
Very good. 317. And if we try to add that all together, we can get what? We can get
22,117.
very good. We can get 22,117. And that would then be the answer for number 14. So you could actually basically add it manually, or you could try to do it this way. So I tried doing it this way because it's annoying to add those numbers like 1/8, just like that. And it's easy to add all of those with zeros at the end. Got it? Okay. I hope it's clear. You can, if it's not clear, you could just basically use the MDAS or just basically add it manually. Okay, why are you in the chat box not talking about math and this problem and you're talking about something else? Oh no.
I keep saying stop, but they don't stop.
Yeah.
There just isn't enough riot.
Oh no.
Talking about Blocks Fruits, a game in Scratch.
Oh
Not
no.
a game in Scratch, man. Game on
Okay, now let's settle with 50 so that you can chat during break time, okay? You can chat those things during break time. But for like during class hours, I encourage you to listen, okay? And engage.
Talk about math,
with
not
that.
Blocks Fruits, unless
Yes, okay. With this, can I ask Radcliffe? Radcliffe, can you read number 15?
If 30th November is Monday in a leap year, which day of the week was 8th January that year?
Okay, so you know already, we could just list down all of the days from November and going back to January 8th, right? So we could like list down all of those like months, right? And then the number of days that they have. Or I'll show you a technique. You know already, right? It would be a leap year. So how many days would there be? 366, since it's a leap year, right? You know already that we are only talking about January to November, meaning to say out of the number of days in a year, we should not include what? December, and it has 31 days. And also, we only ask up until January 8th. So therefore, that's 31 minus 8.
7.
31 minus 8? Is it 31 minus 8?
I think it's 7.
20
Minus 8. Or it's minus 8. What do you think?
I think it's 7.
Yeah. Oh, minus 7?
Sure, I think -7.
Mm-hmm.
should be.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because January 1, January 2, January 3, January 4, January 5, January
It would
6.
be minus 8. Since we're looking out, yeah. It's actually just January. It's just 8 because most of the times we're looking out from that day, right? From
Mom,
the day.
Mom.
So that would be 366 minus 31 minus 8, right? Which is just basically what? 3, 2, 7, right? And if you try to list down from November, going back to January 8th, which I also did try just to check, it would also be 327 days if you try to add, right? It's 327. So now that you know already, how many days will there be from January 8th to November, not from January 8th, from November 30th until going back to January 8th, it would become what? Divided by 7. Why 7? Because there is 7 days in a week. Now what is
7 days in a week.
divided by 7? That's 46, I think. 46 remainder 5, right? That's 46 remainder 5, right? Because that's 322. So that's remainder 5. Now, should we count forwards or should we count backwards? We need to count backwards. Since our reference point is November 30th and going back to January 8th, right? So we count backwards. So if November 30th is a Monday, we'll try to count backwards, which is 5 there, right? So backwards with Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, which means that the answer here must be Wednesday. Clear. So the answer here must be
Oh.
Do you have any other questions? So,
Ma'am, is the candidate number and the admission ID the same?
I don't know about that one. I only know like you'll have to answer. So I don't know about those things. Okay, so since we're already done with 15, we'll just try to do a 12-minute break. Be back by, so, well, it's 3 now, so just be back by 12:15, okay? Okay. Bye, everybody. Be back by 12:15.
Yay.
For those who are confused, it's break time.
Shri 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 Shri
Yeah, I can finally.
la
15 Philippine time,
la
okay?
la la la.
What islands are you guys on?
Bablashan!
What
Bablashan!
what island are you guys on?
I'm at Marine Fortress.
I'm at Green Zone.
Wow. Learn
I-
second sea. Wow, wow, wow.
Fighting marine captains.
Be
That was
quiet.
close to
Vice
finish.
Admiral is too easy.
No, I know. I single-handedly beat Thunder God.
Vice Admiral, I can destroy it. Using
I
my
can
land.
probably one-shot Vice Admiral. I do 2,000 damage, I think. At least 2,000.
Wow.
At least 2,000 to 100. I mean 1,000. You know, because I have so much stats in melee. And I use
No time to do anything.
I don't use a gun.
Guns are trash because you hate aiming.
Magical B2B2.
Bad at aiming.
And the reason I even bought the gun because I was not good in block shoots before.
Did you like Blufffords?
Really good at that.
Yeah,
How?
now
Because
I'm
I use
pro at block shoots. That was before when I was still noob in first year.
I am pro at Blufffords.
Now I'm
When I
pro.
was very when I was bad at Bloodfruit,
What
I
is
thought
it?
I was better than Rocket.
Please, everyone, please be quiet.
Nah.
It's break time.
It's great.
But you're telling
It's
us
not time to talk about Blufffords.
What do you mean don't talk about block fruits? Who's in the third sea?
Me, I have third C.
Cool.
I think I'm still in the first. I don't play blocks.
Cool, you're pro. My friend is also in the third sea. But I'm still level 900.
It's noob.
Why? Who keeps spamming that? Me.
do anybody
Stop spamming.
Whose iPad? Whose iPad?
Who is spamming?
Whose
iPad is
iPad?
Why did you
iPad is saying password.
Whose iPad? Is it
DK, wow.
Fox's iPad?
Whose
iPad is
iPad?
the iPad. It's
iPad.
the iPad.
iPads say impolite words.
You know what? I feel like programming something from scratch.
And what
I have kissed their fruits. I have kissed their fruits.
Yes. How are you?
I used the ice fruit that someone just gave to me for free.
I didn't use the iFruits. I used kissed their fruits.
I have Quake.
Who is iPad? iPad is saying impolite words.
iPad says that he's gay.
I think iPad is.
Level are you guys?
I,
I'm level
iPad is fun.
905.
iPad is definitely iPad.
iPad.
iPad. Whose iPad are you?
iPad.
Whose iPad are
Hello,
you?
iPad.
What's your real iPad? What is your real name? Are you anonymous? Are you anonymous?
Teacher, give us break time for 1 hour.
1 hour?
Hooray!
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. What? Whose
Who
iPad?
is iPad?
Whose iPad?
I use an iPad.
we
I'm
we
using
must
laptop.
we must find a this iPad.
I have a
Please.
breakthrough.
Please.
iPad.
Please.
I think iPad is Edo Leroy.
I have quake fruit, guys.
Oh, cool. What is your level?
My level is 1,100.
My level is
My level is 1,210.
Please mute all your microphone, please. Thank you.
Who is him? I think he is iPad.
Hello, John Joel.
stop bullying me, guys.
My level is 1,200.
Okay, so again, we tried to pick out 1 to 3 numbers. So, if you can see, if we try to pick 5, we could have 6 and 2, that's 8. 4 plus 3 plus 1, which is also 8. So, we could use these things, right? Together. So now if we try, 6 plus 2 plus 5 is 13. 6 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1 is also 13. That's not the only way possible. We could also have, like the ones in the book, we could have 1, right? And if it's 1, we could have 6 in this one, and then we could have 4, and then we could have what? So any other things like 5, 3, and 2. And how do we know that? Because 6 and 4 is 10, 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 10. But note that this is just only 11, right? If you try to compare it, it says we have to get them to maximize the sum. So we need to get the maximum value of the sum, right? So thus, the answer here is supposed to be this way, right? 6 plus 2 plus 5 is 13. 13 is way larger than 11. Thus, the answer must be 5, right? Not 1. It must be 5. Kasi, if you try to add, I'm sorry about that one. So if you try to add 6 plus 2 plus 5, that's 13. 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1, that's 13. That's way larger compared to their initial solution, which could only amount to 11. Thus, the answer for S should be 5. Got it? Do we all agree it's 5? Okay, let's
Yes.
that box.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be 5, right?
Mhm.
Again, only chat in this to answer, okay? You can do that after the class or during break times only. Okay, so just try to answer now. Try to use the chat box for answering questions and raising solutions. Okay, so clear that it's supposed to be 5? Okay, so number 17. For number 17, may I ask? Okay, who? Okay, you read now.
Me.
Yeah, okay,
Wow.
go ahead, read
Wow,
now.
iPad. Wow.
Okay, read now. You ask?
Uh,
Okay, why are you not reading it? You want to read it, but now it's your turn.
17.
Okay,
Today, Chum goes back home at 4:30 p.m. and starts watching TV. Mom asks him to rest for 15 minutes after 1 hour's TVs until 10 p.m. How many hours did he watch TV?
okay, thank you. So now if you can see, we'll first try to identify how many hours has it been from 4:30 to 10 p.m. Okay, if you try to count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9:30, which is basically, so 4:30, so 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, and then we'll still have something missing, right? So that's basically 5 hours up until 10 p.m., right? But we know already he has to rest for what? He has to rest for 15 minutes every hour. So that's 115, right? Now, if you try to add 115 plus 115 plus 115, and then plus 115, that's all equal to what? That's equal to what?
5 hours.
That's equal to 5 hours. But that's more than that, right? So what should we do? Just 4, right? So now if you try to add all of these together, 15, 15, 15, that is what? That's what? 5 hours, right? That's 5 hours in total.
Or 5.
Now, what should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we add 30 minutes of watching TV until he goes to bed at 10 p.m. or else I'm thinking.
Okay, so that's it. So, or else we could also do this way. So this way we can have 10, that's 10 p.m., right? And you have to minus it with 4.5. Why do you think 4.5? Because 30 is just half. That's 0.5, right? 4 hours, 0.5.
That is equals to 5.5.
Yes. And that's 1.25. Why is it 1.25? And not 1.15? Why do you think? Why do you think?
Teacher, can I go to toilet?
Because 15 is just 25% of 60, right?
Teacher.
Yes, yeah, you can do that. So now if you try to do that, that's just equal to actually 4.40, right? But 40 is something that you know already, that doesn't happen. That would be 425 or 424, right? Because it's just 15. It's multiples of 5. So you know already it should be 4.5.
Teacher, can I go to the restroom?
Yeah, you can do that. Or if you try to do something else, like the ones that we are really used to, like if you do follow how it should be
Teacher, can I go
done,
to the restroom?
like what is it?
Can I go to the restroom?
Yeah, sure, you can do that. Okay. So now, so do you have any other questions why it's supposed to be 4.5? So if you can try to like just count actually 4:30, it would become 5:45, right? Because there would be a rest for 15 minutes. So 5:45, 6:45, 7:45, 8:45, and then 9:45. Is it that way? Is it that way? Yeah, 9:45. However, on the last one, he doesn't have to what? He doesn't have to rest. So that is 4 hours and 30 minutes in total, right? Or which means that's 4.5 because 30 again is just half of it. Clear on that one? Clear? I hope it is. Wait lang. I can't wait. Okay, there. Okay. Huh? What is happening? Okay, there. Number 18. So number 18 is quite simple, but it looks like complicated. So this one is just an example of a trick, an illusion. Can I ask Nathan Elson?
Find the unit digit of 1.
Okay, you don't have to read this one, the whole thing. That's fine. So we'll have to look for the unit digit, right? So the unit digit is what? The ones place of a number, right? Unit digit is basically the ones place of a number. So if you take out the ones place, you don't have to multiply them all together, just take its unit digit, right? So now, you know already, following MDOS, we'll need to solve 1 times 4 and 7 times 5 first, right? 1 times 4 is what? 4, right? So that should look like 9 plus 4 plus what? 9 plus 4 plus 4 minus 7 times 5, which is 35. Or you could just say 5, right? Because we're only looking at unit digit. So you don't have to multiply and write down the whole thing. You just have to take out its unit digit, right? So 9 plus 4 is what? 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 15. 15, again, just take out the 5. 15 minus 5 is what? Is it that way? You guys are missing something.
Miss,
You guys are missing something.
9 plus
Not
4
correcting.
plus 4 is 17.
Very good. There you go. Nobody tried to correct that. Ah, you guys are just too comfortable. 9 plus 4 is not 15. You guys did not budge. Oh no. It's 17, people. Right? It's 17. Minus 5 is what?
12.
It's 12. Since we're only looking at the unit digit, so just take out the last digit as well. So obviously it's 2, right? That's why the answer is 2. So when you have something like this, you don't have to multiply it as is or operate it as is. You just have to take out its last digit, okay? The unit digit. Since we're talking about unit digit, so we'll also have to do unit digit. Get it? Clear? Okay, if it's all clear, let's move forward.
May I go to the restroom?
Yeah, sure. For question number 19, can I ask Grayson Uy? Grayson Uy? Okay, Grayson, you don't want to read? Okay, since you guys were wondering about iPad, okay, iPad, you read. You should read number 19. Okay, go on.
Ma'am, you do not know po, there is 2 iPads.
Really? Okay, let's just ask the ones with open mic. Okay, you read this one. Okay, go ahead. Okay, yeah, I asked you to unmute. You read na. I was referring to you.
Who is in the pineapple under the...
SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, can I ask another one na lang? Okay, I'll ask Andres. Andres, you read. Yes, you.
How many rectangles are there in the picture below?
Thank you. Okay, one way for those who are from Philippines, you know already, I have been your teacher, so you know already how it's done, right? I hope you do, because I gave you the technique. So one way for you to do this is you try to get into the cornermost, and then you try to know how many rows and how many columns are there. Now, what should you do next? You try to add this way and this way and multiply their sum. Okay? So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is 10, right? And then 1 plus 2 plus 3, that's 6. 10 times 6, meaning to say there would be 60 rectangles. Now, in any cases that you'll have to write that and also count that manually, that would take you a lot of time, right? And if you
in
guys
the mock test, the number 19 doesn't have any English translation.
Yes, you were right. So I have to copy the number, the question, and just place it in the Google Translate actually. But without having to know the translation, you would already know it's looking out for the rectangles, right? Since you can see the dots, so obviously it's the rectangles, right? So the answer is 60. So number 20. Number 20, can I ask Stefan?
Process some components. 5 workers can finish the task within 16 days. If I added 3 workers, how many days can complete this set of components?
Okay, thank you. Now, I already taught you about ratio and proportion, right? So ratio is just basically the comparison of two things, and proportion is the equality of two ratios, right? So since here we're trying to compare workers and days, right? So 5 workers can finish that in how many days? 16 days. Now we're trying to do something else. So it says here that we add 3 workers. So initially there is 5. Now we want it. What would happen? For example,
This
if
one
there
is
was
just 5 times 16 and then the
yes,
answer
that's right.
divided by 8.
Yes, that's right. So it would become 5 times 16 and 8 times d, right? Which is just what we call indirect proportion. So 5 times 16 is 80, and 8 times d is what? 8d, right? So to get the days, we'll just have to divide both sides with 8, which is just basically 80 divided by 8, which is just obviously 10. Meaning to say, if we add 3 more workers, then there should be 10. And they would finish this one within 10 days. Got it? Clear? Okay.
Sir, look at my solution of the chat.
Okay, let me see. So,
It's pretty easy actually.
yeah, this one's too easy actually. You were right. So the answer here is
Basically,
not
5 work.
yes,
uh,
just 8.
I did it a different way. Okay, 5 divided 5 times 16 divided by 8.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just basically what I did as well. That's 5 times 16, which is 80, divided by 8, which is just 10. Okay, now we're done with all set A and B. We'll try to move forward with set C. So for set
Okay.
C, can I ask question? Why is the answer being showed already?
The figure below is a rectangle formed by 2 big squares and 5 small rectangles. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 68 centimeters, find the area of the rectangle. By the way, the answer is already.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So to get the perimeter, that's just basic. That's just basically what? Perimeter is equal to length times width times 2. That's just it, right? So now here we already know the rectangle is already 68. The perimeter is 68. So what we don't know is actually its length and width this time, right? So now, all we can do for us to know the possible values of the length and width, we just have to divide both sides with 2. And now, all we have left is 34, right? Meaning to say, all the possible values of length plus width must be equal to 34. So length plus width is equal to 34. You know already length would be longer compared with the width, since we know already it's what? If you can see in the figure, the length is longer compared to its width, right? Now one more clue is that it is formed by 5 small rectangles and 2 big squares. Now if you look closely, those rectangles that we are talking about are just basically squares, right? But we can also address squares as rectangles because squares are rectangles, right? But rectangles are not square, not the other way around, right? So since, if you can see in the picture, you know already, we could have like a number that's divisible by 5, right? Because there would be 5, 1. We'll try to look for the length first. Now, if you can see, if you try to think of it, like you could have 20 plus 14, right? And if you try to think about it, 20 divided by 5 is 4, right? Meaning to say, this one's 4, this one's 4. This one's situated half of it, so this one's basically 2, right? Right? This one's basically 2. Now, if you can see, that's just like 4 plus 4 plus 2, which is equal to what? Which is equal to? 8. Right, so 1 here is just 8. Is it 8? No, it's 10. Very good. It's 10. Now, if you can see, this side is, we already agreed and we already know this side is 4, right? Since 20 divided by 5 is 4. Why is it divided by 5? Because there are 5 small squares, right? So 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. Meaning to say each side is just basically 4, right? So 10 plus 4, that's 14. And this whole thing is just 20. So to get the area, that is just length times width, which is basically 20 times 14, which is basically 280. That's why the answer is 280. All clear? All clear. Do you have any
Now I understand area.
Yeah, area is just length times width. That's why 20 times 14, which is 280. Okay, now let's have 22. Now for 22, I have a lot of questions for this question. Now, who here agrees the answer is wrong? Who here agrees the answer is wrong? Like if you say the answer is it's 6. But who here agrees it's wrong?
Me.
Okay. But first, let's try to ask someone to read it. And with this, can I ask
Me.
Me,
please?
Me, please.
That's quite a lot of you who are trying to like do it. Can I have Shanso? Sean?
Do I read it? Do I read it?
Oh,
14 po.
we do have two Sean. Okay, you na lang. Sean Dominic.
What? I just read it.
Nor.
Yeah, read it lang.
Miss Red has 10 $10 coins, 5 $5 coins, 14 $2 coins, and 1 50-cent coin, and 10 10-cent coins. If she would like to use the least number of coins to buy a valued $28 storybook, how many $2 coins will she use?
First of all, that's quite an expensive book. Okay.
And with the burp, I heard the burp. Who did that?
Maybe it's Sean. Okay, so now let's just move forward, okay? So we're looking at what? The least number of coins that we could use to buy $28. Note that in questions like this, there should be no change. Got it? So now, since we're trying to use the least number, so we'll try to maximize the time, maximize the amount that we could use the biggest or the largest number, which is obviously 10 in this question, right?
Time is
If we use
money.
10, that would be 20 already, right? So what we have left is 8. So that we can't use another 10 because there would be a change, right? We need an exact value. So we could use 5. However, if you use 1 5, we'll have to gather 3 more. Now, for us to gather 3 more, we could use $1 $2 coins and a lot of these, right? So we wouldn't get like the least number of coins that we wanted to do. That's the goal. Now, if you see, if you use 4 $2 coins, we could just get 28 right away. Now, maybe the answer is 6 because they miscalculated it, because they said how many $2 coins. If it says how many coins will she use, the answer should be 6. But the question is $2. The least amount, so how many $2 coins will she use? So obviously, the answer is just 4, right? Because we're only talking about how many $2 coins will she use, and that's just 4. And this combination is actually the least number of coins that we could use. So obviously the answer is 4. But if we are talking about how many coins did she use in total, then that's 6, right? But since we have to refer to the question which states that how many $2 coins, so obviously in this situation we used 4. So would you guys agree that the answer is 4? Would you guys agree? Yeah, I think this one's an error.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think the answer is 6 because they actually thought about how
I
many
agree.
points. But the question is clearly stating how many $2 coins. Thus, the answer must be 4. Clear? Clear? Okay. Now let's have 23. Okay. I know some of you guys would love this one. So, but for now, let me ask somebody to read this one. Can I ask Winry Salcedo? Okay, Winry Salcedo, can you read 23?
There are some chickens and rabbits inside the cage. There are 45 heads in a total of 146 legs. How many chickens are there?
So, chickens and rabbits were not really specified. Like there are 20 chickens and there are 5 rabbits. It doesn't express it that way, right? It only says that there are 45 heads and at 146 legs. Now, teacher, how do we solve that? So, meaning to say, if there are 45 heads, all of these animals mentioned only have 1 head, right? So, you know already, chickens plus rabbits would be equal to what?
Everything
45.
only has one.
Yeah, 45. So chickens plus rabbits is equal to 45, right? So now C is chicken, okay? R is rabbit. Now it says 146 legs. Now this gets tricky with the legs because they have varying number of legs, right? For the chickens, it only has 2. And for the rabbits, it only has what? 4. Rabbits has 4 legs, and all of that, if you add it all together, it's supposed to go 146. Now, teacher, what are we going to do? So the goal in every equation is that we'll have to use one letter lang. Yung one letter lang yung, there would be only one letter that we're going to look for. Now, in here, we could use this equation and just try to do something about it. So we could try to say that C, because we're looking at chicken, so C, we could have 45 minus R, right? We'll just have to move the R to the other side, right? So we know already chickens is just 45 minus rabbits, right? 45 minus rabbits. So that is just like 2. Instead of writing C, we say 45 minus rabbits, meaning to say whatever the 45 is, that's whatever the number of rabbits, you subtract it with 45. That's the number of chickens. Plus 4R is equal to what? 146 legs. Now, we try to distribute everything here. So 2 times 45 is what? 90, right? 2 times minus R, that's minus 2R. And plus 4R, which is all equal again to 146. Now, the thing what are we going to do next is we'll try to group all the ones with letters and the ones which are what we call constants because they're just plain numbers. They don't have any letters beside it, okay? So 4R minus 2R, that would be in one group, right? Now, what is 4R minus 2R equal to? That is basically 2R. Now, since I said we'll have to group all the numbers, we'll have to move 90 to the other side. If you move 90 to the other side, what will happen? Will it be plus 90 or will it be minus 90? It will become minus 90. It will change it.
Minus 90.
Yeah, so 146 minus 90 is equal to what?
36.
36.
36. Are you sure?
I mean 56.
Yeah, it's 56. 56. That was quite enthusiastic and somebody agreed. Oh no, it's 56. Now, since we now have to know the rabbits, that's just basically divided by 2, right? So, for us to
It's
know how many
28.
28.
yes, that's
28.
28. But we are asked for what?
Chickens.
For
It's
chickens.
7.
So meaning to say, to get the chickens, that's just 45 minus the number of rabbits, which is just 28, which means that how many chickens are there?
17.
There you go. It is 17.
We have 17 chicken nuggets.
Yeah, a lot of chickens. So that's 17 chickens. That must be a big cage. Otherwise, it's sad. Okay.
And a lot of chicken nuggets to make.
Okay. So again, stop spamming the chats, okay?
It's over 99.
Okay, 24. So this one is quite tricky, right? This one's quite tricky. So how about, can I ask, oh, where is Mateo Bautista? Why is the chair only watching it? Mateo, are you with us? Okay, there are 2 iPads. I would ask one and I would just call somebody to unmute and I would like him to read 24. Okay. Okay, go on. If I ask you to unmute, you would be the one to read 24.
Yes and no question.
Okay. Oh, I think the 2 iPads doesn't want to read.
How about the third day? That was a third iPad.
There's a 3rd iPad. Okay. I messaged them already. I hope they read the message. I think they don't want to. Let's just call somebody else. Okay, Mika Bagayan.
Red is now thinking of a 3-digit number. Now Ming is finding out what this 3-digit number is, but he can only ask yes or no question. Of course, Red can only answer yes or no. How many questions does Ming need to ask to ensure that he can find this 3-digit number?
Okay, so this one's quite tricky, right? Because how come he would know? But since it's a question like this, and there's like ensure, meaning to say we have to think of the worst case scenario. If ensure is in there, we'll have to think of the worst case scenario.
27.
27, that's a lot. So now,
Actually, I don't really know.
okay, so calm down, everybody. I'll explain. Okay, so the least amount of like 3 digit would be 100, right? That's the first. That's the least 3-digit number. That's 100, and then the largest would then be 999, right? Now from 100 to 199, how many numbers are there? From 100 to 999. Is that it? There is 900 numbers. And how do we know that? Because if you try to do 999 minus 100, that's 899, right? Plus 1, so that is just equal to 900, meaning to say there are 900 numbers from there are 900 3-digit numbers. Now, would that be the answer? No, not yet, because we only know how many 3-digit numbers are there. So how come we would know the answer? So we are going to do what we call the binary strategy method, okay, or the binary strategy question, in which we'll try to just divide it by 2, just like that. So now, what do I mean by divided by 2? So meaning to say, we could just say, what is 900 divided by 2? That's
450.
Yeah, that's 450, right? Meaning to say, we could just say, take the half. So is it greater than 450? So that's the first question, okay? Is it greater than 450? That's answerable by yes or no, right? So if it says yes, then we could get a number that's higher than 450. Or if it says no, then we could get the lower than 450, right? So, but we have deduced all the possible numbers to 450, like the half of it already, right? So now that we only have 450 questions, we'll take the half again. Now, if it says no, for example, so 450 divided by 2 is what? It is 200.
255.
225.
Yes, 225. Now, the question would be, is it greater than 225 or no? That's yes and no pa rin, right? Sorry for if you used pa rin. So 225, is it greater than 225 or no? So it starts from, is it greater than 450? Yes and no. If it says no or yes, you have deduced all of those answers, possible answers to 450. Now, this time, you can say, is it greater than 225? Or is it lesser than that? So that's it. So that's yes and no exactly. So now after that, since for example, we still have a lot of choices, right? There are still 225 possible answers. So all we can do is just try to divide 225 by 2, which is just basically, there would be a remainder, but never mind the remainder, okay? Never mind the remainder. You could just say, is it greater than 112? That would be a yes and no, right? So from 900, it became 450 to 225 to 112. You have deduced all the possible options, right? Now, if it says yes and no, that's still possible, right? So now, we try to divide it by 2 again because there are still 112. What if it says no? So 112 divided by 2 is 56, right? So now, is it greater than this? Because we're talking about 900, right? So now we can have this one. Now after that, so basically we'll just have to divide all these up until it reaches 1, meaning to say there will be only one option, okay? The 56 is just what? The 56 options, okay? Now we have to divide 56 again by 2. What is 56 divided by 2? That is
Wait, Miss, I
Now,
thought it's a 3-digit number.
28.
that is 28 options, okay? 28 options, not 28, the 28 number, okay? Meaning to say 28 options. So out of the numbers that you have given, out of the 900 choices, you have deduced the possible possibilities, the possibilities into 28. Got it? Yeah. So let's just say for
That is now thinking of a 3-digit.
Okay, now 28, we could have what? 28, just divide it with 2 again, we could have 14, and then it would become 7. Just take the half of it, that would be 3. Okay, 2 and 3, so that's another 2, right? So now if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 options for you to get that one possible option na lang, right?
Coach, I thought Fred is now thinking of a 3-digit number. It's not
Yes.
going down.
It's just about options, okay? Options. So for example, let's just say 900. Let's just say would be 900 numbers, right? So first question is, would it be half of 450 or no? If I say no, then it must be lesser than 450, right? Lesser than 450. So let's just say lesser than 450, so let's just say 450 divided by 2, that's 225. So is it greater than 225? Is it greater than 225? You would say again, no. Or you would say, yes, it's greater than 225. So your options are from 225 to 450, right? And that is what? You can take the half of it again, and that's 112. Meaning to say, you take the half from the range of 225 to 450, you have deduced again the possible answers into 112. So let's just say, since we know, let's just say it's greater than 250, you say, yes, it's greater than 225. So now, there would be half of the 225 is 112. Just say, is it greater than 112? Is it greater than 112? You can just say no. So if you say no, then you have choices from what? You have choices from 100 to 112. You could say, is it greater than 106? You could say yes. So your options are 106, greater than 106. So you could say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 6 options again, right? 6.
Coach,
Just like that.
Coach.
Yes. So meaning to say,
I
this
actually
56, 28, 14, and 7, these are not the exact numbers. These are the possible numbers, okay? That you're trying to, like, the possibilities. Got it?
Coach.
Yes?
Just saying. I thought it only said is thinking of a 3-digit number.
Yeah,
I
it's actually 3-digit
I
number.
think we would already stop at a. Is it lower or than 50? Is it lower than 56? But we change the 56 to 100 because making a list this long would actually be ineffective because the binary because as we're already going lower into the 1-digit numbers, but that is now
Again,
thinking
these are not
3
exact numbers. These are actually possibilities. That's why you don't, like, 56 doesn't mean 56 as a number. It means that you have 56 options out of you saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So out of the 900 questions, you try to deduce the possibilities, okay? Reduce the possibilities. So from 900, if I saying if is it half of this or is it greater than this? You took out all of the rest that are not possible, right? That's 450. And it became lesser, lesser, lesser up until you reach 1, meaning to say you would reach the possible answer. Get it? There would be only one option, which is just the right answer.
Now I get it.
Okay. So this strategy is basically trying to multiply, like divided by 2, divided by 2 up until you reach 1. 1 is not just the one number, okay? It means that you only have one possibility, and that would be the right answer. Get it?
It's almost 1 p.m.
But just put it simply, just divide it in 2 until it reaches 1. Okay?
Teacher, it's
1 p.m.
already 1 now. It's about to be 1.
It's about to be 1? We're only at 24. Oh no.
Yes. We still have 6 more questions.
Okay, let's just try to explain further. So let's see where we can. So the answer is 10, okay? So this one's quite easy. So I'll just read it, okay? So refer to the figure below. Are you guys open for it to be like extended? Okay, so I hope you guys are fine with that. So area of a square is just what? Square root, just to take this s squared, right? So you know already that the area is 196. So you'll just take the square root of 96. The teacher, what is square root? Now, for those of you who are not asking what is square root is basically trying to look for that number in which if you multiply by itself, you can get 196. It needs to be a perfect square, okay? It needs to be multiplied by itself. Now, what's the square root of 196? That is 14, right? Because to get 196, we can just say 14 times 14, right? 14 times 14 is 196, meaning to say the square root is 14. Get it? So one side of the square, the bigger square is 14, right? Now the ants are trying to invade my coffee. Oh no. And now here we'll have a rectangle in which the area is supposed to be 108. But since it's just divided between two squares, we could just say 128 divided by 2, right? 128 divided by 2 is what? It is 64. So meaning to say, you just take the square root of 64 again, and that is equal to 8. Meaning to say, this one's 14, this one's 8. Right? So 14, so take the perimeter, so that's 14, 14, 14. That's 14 times 3, right? And then we'll take 8, 8, 8, right? That's 8 times 3 still. Now we still have what? Times. It's supposed to be times. We still have what?
You still have the 2 ones on the side that you haven't accounted for.
So you know already this one has to be 14, right? But since this is 8, so 14 minus 8 is what?
Those two small sides,
6.
6. So yeah,
those two sides, both measure for
yes, that's right. That's why it's supposed to be 6, because this is just 8.
the sum of
and then-
both
Yes.
equals 6.
Yeah, that's it. So 14 times 3 is what? That is 42, right? And 8 times 3 is 24 plus 6, right? 24 plus 6 is 30. 30 plus 42 is 72. Thus, the answer here must be 72. Now, is that right? Is that right? Okay, so we'll try to manage, okay? So here, so do we still have time? Oh no, can we still extend? Can we extend? Oh no. Okay, so if you don't want to like read to answer the next few questions, you can now go. But if you want to listen to the explanation for 26, then you can just stay, okay? So why is it 16? So just take it this way. Okay, just take it this way, okay? So why is it 16? Why do you think it's supposed to be 16? It's 16 because what? So you know already, you just state, okay, so Ming's age 6 years ago is the same as Fong 4 years later. So that's just like equal to M minus 6, which is Ming's 6 years ago. That's ago minus, right? And it's the same, so it's equal, right? It's equal to Fong's age 4 years later, right? Right? Now it says here that the sum of the age sum between 5 years later is 32 years old, right? So how do we write that? So that we can just say M plus 5. Where is my control? Okay. Okay, so now the next.
Now I just forgot to minus 21.
Yeah. Or we could say, actually, we could say M plus 5 because later, right? Or you can say M plus F plus 10, right? Because that is just basically M plus 5, F plus 5, which is 5 plus 5, which is 10, right? And that's all equal to 32. Now, teacher, what are we going to do with this one? How are we going to solve this? So you know already that for us to get the answer, we could just do what? We could just do what? You could
Do
just
it backwards?
do it backwards? Okay. Do it what backwards? And the other way. Possible that you can think. You could just say this one. We could try to manipulate this one. So Ming is just equal to Fong plus 4. And then we try to move 6 to the other side. That would become plus 6, right? Which means that Ming would just be Fong plus 10. Right? That would mean that Ming is just equal to Fong plus 10. So now we'll try to substitute F plus 10 plus F plus 10 is equal to what? 32. Right? That's equal to 32. And which, if you try to add together, that should look like what? 2F plus 20 is equal to 32. We'll try to do the same thing. Move it to the other side. That's 2 Fong pala, 2 Fong, which is equal to 32 minus 20. 32 minus 20 is what? 12. Right? Is it 12? Is it 12? 32 minus 20, is it 12?
Yes.
Yes. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. That's just what? That's equal to
6.
6. But we're looking at what? Ming, not Fong. So we'll have to go back here. You know already that Ming is just equal to Fong plus 10. So 6 plus 10, that's equal to 16. Meaning to say, the answer here must be 16. Clear? Okay, we still have a lot to discuss. So I hope it's clear. Okay, 27. Here, this one's very tricky. So when I reach your age, you will be 66 years old. Chong said, when I were your age, you was only 6 years old. Father replied, how old is Chong this year? Again, when I reach your age, you will be 66. When I were your age, you was only 6 years old. Father replied, how old is Chong this year? So teacher, how did we manage to get 66? 26, not 66, okay? So you know already that is just, so when I reach your age, you will be 66 years old. Meaning to say, Chong, so, bakit? Ano nangyari? Okay. So meaning to say, if you try to read this line, Chong, if I reach your age, you will be 66 years old. Meaning to say, Chong's age now, plus his father, when I reach your age, must be equal to what? Father would be equal to what? What is it? Plus the difference. Yeah, the difference between their ages must be equal to 66, right? And then, you know already that father, it says father is what? When I were your age, you were only 66. So therefore, father minus the difference between their ages now is equal to Chong's age, which is 6. Is that right? This is the difference between their ages, okay? Now, how do we do that? Like, teacher, how do we do that? We'll just try to add it. We'll try to add it. Now, what is C plus C? Okay, first, before adding it, we'll try to do what? We'll try to, C plus C is what? 2C minus F is equal to 66. Now, the other one is what? F. That is just what? Is it F? What is F minus F? F minus F is what? That is 0. So that is just 6. Right? Is it 0? No. That's 2F. Because that's minus times minus, which is plus. So that's 2F minus C, which is equal to 6. Teacher, what are we going to do now? Teacher, what are we going to do now? What do you think? I said, So now we'll just try to add two equations. What is 2c plus minus c? What is 2c minus c? And it's just c, right? Now 2f minus f is what? F. Now 66 plus 6 is what?
72.
72, meaning to say Chong minus father or father minus Chong must be equal to 72. This one's actually be F minus C. What happened? So there's actually, maybe this one is an error with the translation because you see, it's just translated, right? The original question is stated in Chinese, right? That's why sometimes there's an error with how it is being translated. So maybe it's just the grammatical error. That's why. So this one should be C minus F, or should have been F minus C, which is equal to 72. Is it that way? Now, teacher, how are we going to get the 26? How do you think we should do it? How are we going to get the ano? How are we going to get it? How are we going to get it? You know already, right? That F, C minus F, that's just it, right? It's 72. So F is just what? F is just what? F is just what?
72 plus 2.
That's just F, father. But we're looking for Chong. We're looking for Chong. So it's plus. C minus F is what? It's supposed to be C minus F, right? But you know already, C minus F is what? Just 72, right? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, C minus F is just 72. So C plus 72 is equal to 66, right? So now, all we can do is just what?
Wait, 72 is larger than 66?
Yeah, so how are we going to do that? Teacher, how are we going to do that?
How?
How? Which means that we'll have to use father. But that's just the same thing. Isn't it? No, it's not. Because if you can see, when you use father, that's minus, right? So F, okay, wait. F minus 72 is equal to 6. Now, what is it equal to? So F is equal to 6 plus 72, which is equal to what? Equal to 79. Is it 79? No, 78. Now, teacher, that's just father. How do we know about the age of Fong now? How do we know the age?
You minus 78 by 66?
You minus the 78 and 66? You can do 2c minus 78 is equal to 66. Now, if you do that, that's just 2c. But teacher, that's too big. That's why I said it's a grammatical error, right? Because if you try to read it this way, like this way, it would have been like if you try to do it this way. This one, if I were your age and though you was 6 years old, that's why it says there must be a grammatical error when they have like translated it from the Chinese one, right? So now that's why you have to, sometimes there would be an error with this one, but usually if there would be an error in the translation, they just do it in a bonus, right? So how did you manage to get 26?
Please,
Yes.
I did not manage to
I
get
think
26.
it's C plus F,
Mm-hmm.
not C minus F.
Very good. Somebody answered it right already. I said right, 2f minus f. What is 2f minus f?
F.
And what would be the sign?
Plus.
Plus. There we go. Somebody caught it already. I was just waiting for somebody to take it. It's plus. That's why we cannot solve. It's plus. So C plus F is equal to 72.
Oh, that makes sense now because how C minus F is still just 100 something.
Yeah, and nobody thought. It was like, why can't they see it yet? I was just waiting for one to see it yet. Because C minus F is equal to 72. That must be super big, right? That must be super big. So now how can we do that? Already, if you add their ages, it should be 72. So now, how do we know the age of Chong? How do we know the age of Chong?
Minus F.
What is it?
72 minus F.
72 minus F. Now, 72, what is F?
36.
What is F? 36? Are you sure? Why is it 36? Why is it 36? Think of it this way. When I reach your age, you will be 66 years old. How old is he already? C plus F. If you add their ages, it would be 72. So how do we get Chong? Now everybody's thinking. No, earlier everybody wanted to answer. Now nobody wanted to answer. What would be it? You just were saying 26, but that's not how. How can we get that? How do you think? What should be the next step? If you add their ages, it would be 72. If I were your age, you was only 6 years old. Meaning to say, that is what? Minus 6, right? When you were 6, when I were your age, you was only 6. How do we get that? You know already if you add their ages, it would become 72. But the question is, how do we get the 26? How? You guys were comfortable with 26, but not of the how. Everybody wanted.
I don't know why. I just know 26
Everybody
is
wanted
the
to answer earlier, but now nobody wants to. Everybody was just writing 26. Your guess, Alan, was 72 minus 66. Alan?
That's just 6.
Yeah, that's just 6. So when our age should always be 66.
The dad's age is 46. I just don't know why it's 40.
What is it?
I know the dad's age.
Why is it 20?
I know the dad's age is right now is 46. I
72
don't know why it's 46.
Yeah. But not sure why. So the question is what? Yes and
Why is
yes.
there
Or yes,
laptop?
raising your hand.
What's the laptop? Those iPad before now laptop.
That's fine. Why is it 26? The question is why? Why? You guys were just answering 26. Oh, we're running out of time already. Yeah. So how do we get it? How do we get it? If you know already the sum, how do you think we should get it? How do minus what? So you know already if you add their ages, it would become 72. Meaning to say, it is, since we mentioned a lot of 66 years old and 6 years old, meaning to say it's a multiple of 6. Not multiple of 6, it ends with 6, right? It ends with a 6. Yes. So when I were your age, you were only 6 years old. Meaning to say, if you say, you'll have to think that there would be 72. So you have to think
you
of
can
the
actually
factors. Okay, you'll have to think of factors of C plus F, in which we can get 72, right? This is one way for you to get it. So you'll have to think of ways in which the pair of numbers, if we add together, will have 72, and it satisfies the question. Now, you know already it's 72, and they mentioned 6 years old and 66. So it must be a number that ends with 6 as well, right? Now, if we say 56, father was 56 at that time, what do you think would be the value? So if father was 56 at that time, then that would 56 now, then Chong must be 16, right? But if we say 16 plus 56, but if we say 16 plus 56, that's what? That is
72.
72, not 66. 16 plus 56. That's 72, right? But if it says when I was your age, you were only 6 years old. 16 is not possible, right? Because that's just like father was too young by then, right? And you were only 6 years old now, right? So meaning to say father gave
Yeah.
birth to
This is, you can do this with process of elimination. You just
You
go,
can-
oh, there's 6 at the end, so I can just go down by 10.
Yeah, that's it. So now if we try to go down by 10, we could obviously would get 56 and 26, right? So if father says, if I were your age, you were only 6 years old. So 20 minus 6 at the time when father gave birth, when mother gave birth, father was only 20, right? So now if it satisfies, so if it's 26, so 26 plus the current age of father. So when you were your age, when I reach your age, so meaning to say, the current age now, is it talking about the now?
Father is 46.
No, it means that 20, initially that's 20, right? 20 plus the current age of the father, which is 46. It means that if we add together, we may get 66, right? That's why you got confused. So now, because it says here, you'll have to, so 26 minus 6, that's obviously 20. 20 plus the current age of father, which is 46, which is equal to 66. But since we're talking about this year, we'll have to do 20 plus 6, which is obviously 26. Now that's a little bit confusing, but I know we don't have much more of the time, so that's just it. So C plus 4 is equal to 72. So if you don't want to go further into a mathematical equation that's quite confusing, you can think of the factors of 72 that would satisfy C plus F equals.
Let's move on.
Yeah, 28. This one. This one's a lot.
I knew the answer.
This one's a lot. Oh no. In the market, there are $10, $5, $2, $1 and 50 cents, and 20 cents and 10 cents. If paying for $2 without any changes, how many combinations are there?
I saw the answers first.
The answer here is 41, but if I were to list it down, since we are already running out of time, it's 1:24 already. That's 24 more minutes already from the current time, from the initial time, which is 1. I'll just explain the way it should do things, okay? One way for you to do this is actually to list down. So, for example, $2. So that would mean that one way for us to do this would have been $1, and then 5 10 cents, 5 20 cents. So that's just like that would give us $2, right? So all of those things, you try to list it down because it says combinations, okay? So if you try to list it down, actually, you could get 41. But that's quite a lot of way for us to solve. I'll just tell them when to give you the solution manual in which all of those things are being listed down, okay? So number 29. So let's just move further here because this one's quite easy, right? So you know already that if you start here, we could move farther like 3, right? So now you could say 3 to get this one in the parentheses first, we could have 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is basically equal to 12, right? Is it 12? So now, it should look like 3, 12, right? And which, if we do that, we'll have to get 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, just like that, right? Plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Oh, not equal, okay? Okay, plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Should we stop at 11 plus 12? No, because we want 12 terms, not stop at number 12, right? So we'll have 13 and we'll have 14. Now if you,
What's that pounding sound?
it's my keyboard.
Sorry.
So 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 is actually what? It's actually 102. And finally, we're at number 30. I'm so sorry, everybody, for extending you quite a lot. So A and B have a number of candies. If A gave half of the total to B, B will give half of the new amount of candies to A. Finally, A and B will have 36 and 24 respectively. How many candies does A have at first? So meaning to say, all we have to do this is what? Do backwards and do the opposite, right? We'll just have to start at the result and do backwards, right? It says here B will give half. If we try to do that, the result is A is 36, B is 24, right? Now it says here that B will give half of the new amount of candies to A. So what do you think we should do? So if you say do backwards and do the opposite,
So it's just 36 times 2.
which is equal to 36 times 2, B will give half of the new amount of candies to A. Half. So what do you think we should do? 36? What do you think? 36 or should we touch 24? Half of the new amount.
I think we should do 24 first, then do 30.
So what do you think? That would be 36 minus 12?
Because we know the exact amount is 60 or 60.
Okay.
And then half the new amount.
So that's 60, right? And then
30.
half of it.
So that means at the start B before had 54, and that means that A only has 6.
Are you sure originally?
And then it gets times
A
gets
half of
30 back, so it's still the same number.
Okay, if we follow your intuition, which is 6 and 54, that would mean 54 divided by 2 is actually 27, right? 6 plus 27 is equal to 33, right?
Sure.
Now, if you do 27, then give half again, then that would be it. That would be what? That's not equal to a number that we're looking for, right? So now we could actually do 36 minus half of 24, which is equal to what?
12.
24.
Yeah, because the half of 24 is 12, right? So 36 minus 12 is what?
24.
24. And that's the answer already. Okay. So let me stop sharing screen and let's just take this moment to take a picture. Because this is a rare chance for us to meet and gather together. So please open your cameras, everybody. So I know if we still have more time, we could have been extracting and experiment with the rest of the questions, but I hope I did help you. So if you have any questions, you may ask me right now, and we may stay for a while and then answer. But for now, let's take a picture. So for those who wanted to go, so the rest, open your camera. Amy, Tristan, the rest. Was
Here.
she able to explain well?
Wow.
I did not hear any agreements. Okay. So, Steven.
Okay.
So, some of the questions were quite hard and some were quite easy, right? Okay. Now, let's try to take a picture. Ready? 1, 2. Do whatever you want. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's all give a thumbs up. So if you agree that I did a good job today, you give me a thumbs up. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thanks everybody.
Guys, look at my camera.
Bye.